Welcome to Power Your Life Today. I'm Kristy Jo, and in today's Power session, I'm going to help you learn how you can better learn from your past. Life is a series of events that you get to learn from and become better from, but it's a mindset of learning how to do this. Now, I know oftentimes it can feel hard to look inside yourself, to look at your past and to see what's actually happening. So many people are used to sweeping this under the rug. It can just feel really weird to look inside and to find solutions. But I will tell you, as you do this and you make time for these moments, that is the entire purpose of our growth and progress in this life. You are going to feel so much more empowered to know who you are, to then let that roll out to become more of a person of value, service, and love. So think about Thomas Edison. You know, he's the person who invented the light bulb. And at one point he was interviewed and the interviewer said, "How does it feel to have failed 100 times? And Thomas Edison was very wise. What did he say? Have you heard this story? And he says, "I have figured out 100 ways not to invent a light bulb, 100 ways that it's not going to work, 100 ways to fail." And those were what created the pathway for him to then find the solution. The light bulb that is now lighting the camera, the lights, everything just for you to view this, the lights in your home, everywhere. But he had to go through those series of failures in order to learn enough to have it come to a final conclusion, that mastery moment. You have a mastery moment. It's waiting and it's there for you in life, and everything happening in your life is going to lead up to this. So think of it like a scientific experiment. You hypothesize, you put the variables in place, and then what happens at the end of a scientific study? A conclusion where the data is analyzed. This is the part of life you may not be fully understanding and applying. So let's talk about how to start analyzing the data of your life, of your choices, of the events in your life, so you can learn from them, make conclusions, then come to the next phase of life smarter, wiser, ready to pivot from past events and grow, leading you up to that one mastery moment. And the potential for many mastery moments is huge. So let's talk about journaling. Now, there are two ways that I have found journaling to be extremely beneficial. Now, I know you probably don't have a ton of time, so please don't think I'm going to make you sit down and journal for an hour a day. No. We're talking either 5 minutes daily or 20 minutes weekly. You get to choose which is better for you. Two suggestions I have to do this. Number one, if you have a smartphone, which about everybody does, there should be some voice recorder on there. You could do this while you drive. Please watch the road, no accidents. Most people are used to talking while they drive, but just put it in your lap and talk. You talk through some specific checklists that I'm going to give you in just a moment. So you could either do this via audio or you can do this through a written journal. I personally do mine via audio and I type. I used to have a written journal, but I found that to get my thoughts out, it just was taking too long. So I moved over to typing, and then I did this on a weekly level. And then at the end of the year, I took all of my Microsoft documents, put them together, sent them to the printer, had it bound, and boom, it's sitting on my bookshelf as that's my year of learning. You may feel like how I used to feel in the past, which was, I don't want to rehash my itinerary. It's like I lived it once, why do I need to go through that stress again? That's not what I'm suggesting. This is about the checklist of things you want to think about in your life. Identify your strengths. Identify the obstacles that are holding you back. Identify what you need to do in order to overcome those obstacles. This is how goal setting then comes into the picture. You set small goals based on what you're discovering through your analysis. These are the things you put in your journal. These are the things you record in your voice recorder to then send to your Google Drive or your Dropbox to host your learning events. As you become more aware of what's going on a weekly or a daily basis, what's going well, the things that are not going well, and those obstacles coming up or those If you want to use the word failure, that's fine. But what matters is that we're not just saying, oh, this project didn't go well, or this relationship kind of had a bust, whatever happened in the week. It's then about finding solutions of what to do because of that. That's where we pivot. That's where we don't become defined by failures or anything that you feel like is such a tragic event that it defines you no longer. Because as you get better at this, you realize life in itself is simply a composite of every little experience. So for 2 weeks, I challenge you to apply either your daily 5-minute journaling or your weekly 20-minute journaling, whether it's audio, whether it's written on a computer, or whether you actually do the old-fashioned way. But start taking analysis and formulating conclusions from your life. You will learn more about yourself. You will learn how to move past those things holding you back. And this is what creates the opportunity to become more empowered and become that person of more value, more service, and more love. Power your life today. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, please share it with one person who comes to mind. Investing in yourself is the best investment you're ever going to make, because when you improve your life, everybody around you improves their lives too. Subscribe to this channel so you are really sure to catch our next power session together, so you can continue to power your life to one of more service, value, and love. Until then, power your life today.